is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
Quite looking forward to this one. Not really done any homework for this one whatsoever. Got no notes made up. I thought I'd walk around there. Look at the waves today, man. Look at this. It's nice, isn't it? It's really pretty. See him hold that there, 2 seconds. I wanted to talk today about films of significance. Films of significance to me. I'm not talking about my favourite films. That'll be for another time. But films that are of actual significance for me, that I remember. I was walking the dog this morning, and then a thought drops into your consciousness, and it's like from there spawns this whole story of growing up with films that actually were majorly significant. It started off really with an idea of going, should under 18s be allowed to see films that are 18 and over? I don't mean that kind of film. We're not that kind of channel. I mean like horror films. Because to me, I remember when I was about 14, a friend of mine, his mum had a video shop. Do you remember the video shops? And we used to go and get the 18 films we were allowed, which is a bit weird really when you think about it. A couple of them, one in particular, which I'll tell you about, had a major impact on my life. I think I was younger than 14. I think I must have been about 11, 12. And it had a major impact on my life, to be honest with you. Make sure that camera's clean. That's better. It had a major impact on my life. And that film, if somebody says to me, what's the scariest film you've ever watched? I'd have to say Poltergeist. Not because it's actually a scary film, it's because at the time I watched it, I was about 11 years of age. And it had a major effect on my life, massively, for many, many years to come, like maybe 3, 4, 5 years to come, to the point where, have you seen Poltergeist? Do you remember it? It wasn't the fact of what was going, well, obviously what was going on in the film. The scene in particular that got me was when the little boy was in bed and the clown was in the bedroom. And then the clown disappeared and it went under the bed. And the little boy put his head down under the bed and then the clown attacked him from under the bed. Now I will tell you now, for years, and I'm talking 3, 4, 5 years, there is no way on this earth I would sleep with my hands hanging over a bed, in a single bed. I still remember it now. I can look back at it and like remember going to sleep, and there's no way I would let my hands hang over the bed and go to sleep. It just was never ever going to happen, because I was absolutely petrified of the thought of a clown. I didn't even have a clown in the bedroom, by the way, but I thought the thought of a clown was going to just grab me from underneath and just pull me under. And that must have hit me for about 3, maybe 4 years before I managed to get over that fear. But the thing about it, which is really quite funny, I'm just rattling with the microphone. The thing about it, which is quite funny, is that it's almost, is that not like a rite of passage? Should an 11-year-old or 12-year-old be subjected to a fear like that for like 3, 4 years, all because he watched a film that's not real and he's not allowed to watch it, yet everybody watches those style of films? I don't know, it was what do you think? What do you think? Have you had one like that, a film like that, where for you, you just went, that's one had a lasting impact on my life, so much so that it like affected you for years to come? If you have, let us know in the comments. Let us know which one it is. I was a massive film buff, by the way, and I've been a film buff most of my life. I've got out of it now a little bit. We've got red flags on the beaches, so the lifeguards are shouting people in the sea because it's red flags at the moment. I've got out of films at the moment, and the reason why I've got out of films is because now the story's gone in the films these days. It's now more about straight into the action, like Marvel and that. Don't get me wrong, I do like Marvel. But it's more about straight into action rather than actually building up a story. But that's the first film I want to tell you about, was Poltergeist. That was a film that had a lasting effect on my life for 3 or 4 years. Another one, for a completely different reason, I'd love to know what year this is. When I get back into the house, I'll have a look to see what year it was, so it gives me an idea of my age, was Back to the Future. I was always been a bit of a loner, didn't mind my own company in the slightest. Well, that's why I was a golfer, single sports, poker, single sports. And then I used to go to the cinema on my own, and I went and saw Back to the Future, and it blew me away that much that for the next 5 Saturdays on the bounce, I used to go to the Saturday matinee and watched it 5 times on the bounce. I went to the Tatton Cinema in Gatley. I don't even know if it's still there now. And it was in the main hall, which is then 3 tiers, I think it was. And I was just absolutely mesmerised by this film. I thought it was so good. And I watched it most probably 5 weeks on the bounce. And I thought that was just a phenomenal film. And even now, when I see it, I look back in fondness. When I see Michael J. Fox and the troubles that he's going through, and I see him on the TV, he always puts a smile on my face. But I feel, you know, I feel endeared towards him because he shaped he was a massive shape of my childhood. The idea of the skateboard and stuff like that, the cool American kid. It was brilliant, you know. I really enjoyed that film. Day 2, same vlog, day 2. I had technical issues yesterday. I think everybody did. I think it was the hottest day I've ever experienced yesterday. And the phone played up, so I ended up talking to myself for 10 minutes. I bet people thought I must have been mental. Oh, right, hang on a minute. Dog's doing his stuff. Back in a mo. We were talking about films yesterday. I think I talked about Poltergeist and Back to the Future. These are no way the best films I've ever seen. Oh, I'm getting all tied up. Come here. No, don't. Come here. These are nowhere near the best films I've ever seen. But these are the films that had an impact on my life. A lasting impact on my life. And there's a couple more that I wanted to talk about. I think I mentioned in the comedy vlog that I'm a sucker for good writing. It's always about the writing for me. It's never about the action. If you get a decent writing film, it's like, yeah, really good. And I was fortunate enough to go and see Sixth Sense, and nobody'd given a spoiler to it, so I didn't know about the end until it actually arrived. Big fan of Bruce Willis anyway, but when that spoiler came at the end, I was like, wow, that's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And that's the sort of film for me that I find chilling, horror film style, more suspense and drama rather than actual, outright fear from Nightmare on Elm Street or Poltergeist and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, Nightmare on Elm Street was really good as well in its day for me. But Sixth Sense, I think that was the style of genre that I think was probably my favourite style. There was another one as well, about a haunted house with Nicole Kidman and her kids, and her and her kids were in a haunted house. Can't remember what it's called, but it turns out that the house was haunted all the way through the film. But it turns out that they were the actual ghost. The plot twist at the end is that they were actually the ones haunting the house rather than being the ones in the haunted house. Not a fantastic film, but it was a film that stuck by me, or stuck with me, for a long time. Still does, I suppose, just because the genius of writing, which was good. Because you got me on a day off, because I've not been very well, I'm not going to go up this hill. He's having a sniff. You get to hear from the Kalima the asthmatic breath. I'd never be a good heavy breather. Come on. I was also very fortunate to go and watch another film really that stands out for its writing ability, and nobody gave me the spoiler, and I had no idea about what the film was about until I went to see it. I just knew it was a Jim Carrey film, and I was a big fan of Jim Carrey because the comedy of Jim Carrey I thought was brilliant. So I just went to watch another Jim Carrey film, and that was The Truman Show. I didn't have a clue what it was about. And then it slowly started to evolve, and I was like, what is this? This is genius. And I loved it. And Jim Carrey played the role. Jim Carrey played that role spectacularly. Come on. Come on. It was a brilliant film. And that's another one that stuck with me, most probably for the rest of my life. Absolutely amazing. Hola, buenas. You see, presa mixto, see. People are surprised to see the type of dog that Rolo is. Yeah, The Truman Show. What a great film that is. Great twist, great plot twist at the end. No, not plot twist. In the middle of the film, if you don't know what it's about, and you start, the realisation kicks in the same time as Jim Carrey's character's realisation kicks in. It's a brilliant film. It really is good. And that was another one that sticks with me for a long, long time. These mags will get a really good test today. One of the films that sticks with me, again, I mentioned before, these are not my favourite films of all time, that'll be a different vlog, when I was a kid, I was a big reader. I read a lot when I was a kid. I used to love reading. In my 20s, I got into John Grisham, so I read a lot of John Grisham. And I remember reading the book The Firm, and then they turned that into a film with Tom Cruise, The Firm. And it was brilliant because it was a story, you know. Small town lawyer, qualified, gets a job, doesn't realise he's actually working for the mafia, gets too deep in, then he's trying to get out of it. It's a great story, great film, great story. And it's like a slow burner. And I've got to say, I think that's most probably the last of the slow burner films that I remember really watching. Because after that, nowadays, it's all about instant action. It's about instant gratification. It's like, you know, the Marvel films. Don't get me wrong, I love the Marvel films. I've been a big fan ever since Iron Man came out. I thought Iron Man was great. I'm going to go like this because he's doing his business again. I absolutely loved it. I thought Iron Man was fantastic. And the start of Marvel, I didn't even realise that Marvel was going to be a franchise where it tells stories that culminates in one final ending. I didn't even know that. I enjoyed the films for what they were, and it was only eventually later on. I think when the penny drops, it's like, oh right, it's ridiculous. Whereas my daughter's like, you're just a stupid dad. How can you not work that one out? I was like, yeah, I didn't know. Instant gratification films, that's what happens now. So if there's no action within the first 10 minutes, people tend to tune out. And I think that's happened a lot, and I think I've got into that as well with YouTube. So what happens with YouTube now is that because of YouTube, if I watch my attention span, I need to get the dog over here. Rolo, come here, this way. And if my attention span isn't peaked, come here, yeah. Come here, this way. Well trained, isn't he? Come on, this way, come on. You got to pretend you're going the other way. There you go. There we go, come here. Oh, I missed you. Come here, gotcha. My attention span's a lot shorter now. I think that's down to YouTube, I think it's down to the TV. Keep me having a fight, having a play. What are you doing? What you got? What you got? You having a good time with that? He loves it. Oh yeah. That's why I get covered in Clark now. Oh yeah. Stop, you'll hurt yourself, mate. Come on, stop it. Stop it. Now you've got your paw trapped. There, it's gone. That is a one-way street going down the hill. One rule for one rule for another. You one of them cyclists? I think the Marvel industry, Marvel films, have done amazing for the cinema industry over the space of 10, 12, 15 years. They've just literally taken over. But I think it's killed the art of storytelling, allowing films to be slow burners, to start off slowly and build into like an epic. I think that's slowly coming back by the sounds of it. I've not seen Oppenheimer yet, but that sounds like a Christopher Nolan film. Does fantastic films. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. And I think the pendulum's now swinging back again to people want storytelling rather than not just CGI superheroes. So hopefully there's a place for everything. I just think the superhero genre at the time was so new that I just don't think people could get enough of it. Me included. I did enjoy some of them. Didn't quite get Thor or Hulk, but certainly Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy I thought were very good. So I've still got number 3 to watch, actually. It'd be interesting to know what your films are of your childhood that, you know, that still sit in the memory bank of your, while you go through life and you go back. As mentioned before, they're not the best films I've ever seen, but they are the ones that had the most effect, most probably, on my life. So, whatever yours are, let us know. It'd be interesting to know. I need to segue into the subscription count because we're drying up, people. We're drying up. The subscription count is slowing down, so the march isn't as forceful as I'd like it to be. If you've not yet subscribed, come here. Go on. If you've not yet subscribed, and you kindly like to consider it, I'd very much appreciate it. It's nice to watch something grow. Anyway, leave you with it. I'll see you on the next one. As always, you know what to do.